This is one of 3 passenger trains here on the Washington Park and Zoo Railway. It's a scale replica of the famous General Motors Aero train of the 1950s. When the Zoo Railway was under construction in the 1950s, zoo officials reached out to school children in Portland, asking them to choose the design for the train to run on the Zoo Railway, and they chose the Aero train. It went into service here at the zoo in June of 1958. You are riding on a 30-inch narrow gauge railroad, meaning that there are only 30 inches between the rails. Rails for a standard gauge railroad are 56.5 inches apart. In fact, all of our cars and locomotives are just over half the size of a normal standard train. As previously mentioned, the Zoo Railroad opened here in 1958 and the zoo a year later in 1959. For those of us who are old enough to remember those days, the late 1950s and the early 1960s, when TV was black and white and had 3 channels if you were lucky, perhaps this little commercial will bring back memories.
All the animals in the zoo are jumping up and down for you, asking you to be sure to plan to visit the zoo as soon as you can. Storybooks that really thought you turn on with the key tell fascinating things about the animals you see. Storybooks and junkies together guide you through a world of new excitement awaits you at the zoo.
Made possible by a bond supported by our community. Habitat was designed to provide our elephant herd interesting activities and lots of choices all day long. Elephant Lands features 6 acres of rolling terrain, plus pools and mud wallows. The entire habitat is blanketed in sand to keep the elephant's feet healthy. Just over the rise, there is a 160,000-gallon elephant-sized swimming pool that provides our herd with hours of family fun and exercise. You can also visit the Elephants in Forest Hall, one of the largest indoor elephant facilities in the world. Below ground, we've installed giant coils, part of a heat exchange system. When we complete the new polar bear habitat in 2019, it will draw warm air away from the polar bears and use it to warm the elephants. This system will keep our animals comfortable while saving a lot of energy. It's one of the many ways the Oregon Zoo is becoming more sustainable. The new steel trestle that we are about to cross was built on the site of a wooden trestle that was part of the original track plan when the zoo was being designed in the mid-1950s. The wooden trestle was completed in 1962. The trestle was used as part of the train ride for only a few years until about 1968, when train operations were changed in such a way that operation over the trestle was no longer practical. For a short while thereafter, it was used as a storage track, and then the rails were pulled up and the trestle abandoned. The old wooden structure continued to stand here in the woods, slowly decaying, until it was torn down a couple of years ago to make way for this new steel structure. The new steel trestle allows us to turn the train around during times when we are unable to use our Washington Park track. The Washington Park line is currently out of service due to some needed repair work. We hope to get that taken care of, but there's no definitive timeline for that as yet. This new trestle is also used in our annual Zoo Lights event. From around Thanksgiving through about New Year's, the area around and below the trestle is heavily decked out in holiday lights, as is the rest of the zoo. The building to your right is our new veterinary medical center. This is where zoo animals go for medical and dental checkups and treatment. Zoo doctors treat an amazing array of animals. The new clinic accommodates each animal's special needs. Opened in 2012, it was the first bond-funded project. Many features of the building save water and energy, including the big silver tank that captures rainwater for reuse.
He's recording, Trey.
Also on the right, near the black poles and under the netting, is the home of our California condors. These highly endangered native birds haven't been seen in the wild in Oregon since the early 1900s. The Oregon Zoo is helping to bring populations of condors back by raising them at a breeding center in Clackamas County. We have 9 pairs of breeding condors, and on average, we raise 5 to 6 chicks per year. Some of these birds now fly over Arizona and California. One day in the future, they may fly again overboard. Visit Condors of the Columbia to find out how you can help. One final note about our railroad, folks. We have the only remaining railway post office in the United States. We are the only railroad still certified by the United States Postal Service to have our own postmark and to hand cancel mail here at the zoo. If you would like something with our unique railroad postmark on it, you may drop your postcards or letters at any of 3 locations. There is a mailbox shaped like a caboose over here at the passenger loading platform at the main railroad station. There's a mail slot in the door of the Zooliner locomotive, and there's a 3rd mailbox up near the zoo's main exit at the gift shop, where purely by coincidence, of course, you can purchase a postcard to mail if you care to do so. Thanks for riding with us today on the Washington Park and Zoo Railway, and we hope you have a great day here at the Oregon Zoo.
Welcome back to the main station. Please remain seated with the doors closed till the train comes